It's a big-time doubleheader. Hoops on the campus of Chandler-Gilbert. The Coyotes men's and women's squad ready for the challenge as the nationally ranked Puma squads roll in. Good evening, everyone. Joe Pequeno alongside Matt McCurdy. Big-time buzz as Steve Shields' men's squad take on second-ranked Pima. But it starts with Matthew Strickland and the girls' team facing number 12 Pima. Aztecs 10-3, 18-5 overall.
Yeah, I mean, this is an exciting night. We've been talking about this for probably months since the last time they played here in the Coyote Center against Pima. And it was a close game. We were rooting for them. They obviously went to Pima, lost big, lost hard. But as the boys say, it's hard to win 3 times in a row against any team. So they're looking forward to it. They're excited. And I hope the fans are excited as well because it's going to be a good one.
Aztecs led by the league's third-leading scorer and Kylie Sowers-Miller, averaging almost 17 points, almost 10 rebounds, shooting 61%, second best in the league, no question. She's a force down in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, she's huge, and she just can lock up any team and dominate in the paint, and that's such a critical part of especially the women's league and the game. And look, last time she played the Coyotes, first game, 18 points, all to herself, racking up on the board, and then in the second matchup, 21 points. So she's a double-digit killer out there, and she's going to let the Coyotes know that her presence is here on the court tonight.
Aztecs coming off a 77-49 win over Phoenix College. Sowers-Miller with 15 in the win. Coyotes led by head coach Matthew Strickland coming off a loss to number 5, Mesa. Matt, kind of the same adage. They came out slow, getting outscored 31-12 en route to the 89-49 loss.
Yeah, I mean, in that game we here against South Mountain, we saw such great improvement, cohesiveness, team playing well together, and everybody scoring. Against Mesa, just a different story. You saw some great points from a few of the girls, like McKaylin Horsley, and mostly guards, but I'll tell you, that post game was non-existent. Chloe Olberg, 1 point. Brianna Martin with 2. Celaya Daniels with 3. So Mesa really dominated the paint once again and really shut the Coyotes out from the inside.
When you kind of talk about being dominated inside, Coyotes were out-rebounded 51-29.
Wow.
So I want you to think about the extra possessions Mesa had to work with. Jalen Nacio, who's been playing so much better, so much poised in her time back in the court, led the Coyotes with 12. Juliet Botiller with 10 in the loss. Coyotes, of course, same adage we talked about all year. They've got to start fast. McKaylin Horsley, Elena West, Sarah Smout, Chloe Olberg, the entire team in this one, Matt. If they're going to have any opportunity to pull off the upset, everyone's got to play big in this one.
Yeah, they've got to dominate. They've got to play hard. They've got to be decisive on their shots. And then, look, the post players got to go in, play big or go home, and hopefully either get the point, but at least get the foul and head to the line. And we just didn't see that against Mesa. So I hope that was a lesson and a lesson learned that they bring back here against Pima.
For the Aztecs, Rory Hoffmeyer, also a double-digit scorer, putting up 11 points. Kennedy Neiman dropping 8. Matanea Vital adds 7, shooting 34% from 3. And here's the thing, we kind of talk about the rebounding. Pima puts up 48 rebounds a game. Chandler-Gilbert only 30. So early on, shots coming up big, obviously huge, but for the Coyotes, crash the glass.
Yeah.
Coyotes 6-16 overall, 2-11 in the league. They are putting up 47 points a game, shooting just a tad under 29%, 24% from 3. Under 64% from the line. As we mentioned, the rebounds and assists, about 8 per game. They have lost twice this year to Pima, 64-41 here and 68-50 at Pima. Bad first quarter here in the first loss and a bad second half in the loss at Pima. Pima, through 23 games, well, they're good. They put up 72 points, shoot 41%. As we talked about, Matt, not great from 3, only 29%, so play zone. Why not?
Yeah.
Make them shoot it from the outside. Pack the paint. Make Sowers-Miller have to work that much harder. They're shooting under 66% from the free throw line, 50 rebounds, and 20 assists. We'll take a short timeout for the national anthem and the starting lineups. More to come. Opening tip around the corner on the Chandler-Gilbert Sports Network. We are closing in on tip-off between number 12 Pima and the home squad, Chandler-Gilbert. And as Matt's going to announce the starting lineup for Pima, it's going to start with number 13, Kennedy Neiman. Number 22, Kylie Sowers-Miller. Number 24, Melisha Nelson. Number 30, Rory Hoffmeyer. Number 48, Montanea Vital. On the other side for Chandler-Gilbert, it's going to be number 2, Melanie Ortiz. Number 14, Hannah Williams. Number 20, Michaelin Horsley. Number 21, Sarah Smout. And number 33, Chloe Olberg. As we check in on the Arizona Community College Athletic Conference standings, Mesa 13-0, 19-6 overall. Pima 10-3, 18-5. Scottsdale 9-3, 13-7 overall. And Scottsdale is ranked number 22. Glendale battling for that 4th spot, 6-7, 8-13. Phoenix College 5-8, 11-13. Chandler-Gilbert 2-11, 6-16, and South Mountain 0-13, 5-19 overall. Of course, Chandler-Gilbert led by head coach Matthew Strickland. In his first year before this, he was the head coach at Louisiana State University, Shreveport, compiling an 80-30 record, winning 1 regular season championship and 2 tournament championships, along with 3 NAIA national tournament appearances. His assistants, of course, Leon Sutton, also works with the men's squad, a vital part of the Chandler-Gilbert basketball team, and John Bundy. Head coach for Pima, the veteran, Todd Holthouse, as well as Jim Rossborough. And we are about to tip this one off. Chandler-Gilbert looking for a faster start than how they came out against Mesa. And this one, Matt, it's also for pride, 3rd time around.
Yep.
Chandler-Gilbert playing Pima twice in their home gym, hoping for a better outing and make it interesting going into the 4th period.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than getting beat 3 times by the same team. It's hard to do, and there's nothing worse when it happens. So they're hoping to come out with a win. They've improved a lot throughout the season, there's no doubt there, but are they good enough to beat the Aztecs? We will find out.
Good defense by Hannah Williams with the active hands. Chloe Olberg out on the arc. It's worked up to Hannah Williams up top. Swung over on that right side. Smout, Olberg up top. Bringing the post out. Shot clock down to 7. Hannah Williams loses the handle. Ortiz puts it on the floor, has to fire it up. And how about Ortiz?
Oh, my.
With the prayer and then some, but gets it to drop. Not the prettiest of possessions, but the bottom line, execution, oh, so good.
I'll tell you, Joe, I know she probably didn't mean for that to go in. Every shot you take, you want it to go in. But that's the type of decisive shooting we were talking about that they need to win tonight's game. Take the shot, don't think twice about it, work into your form. So kudos to her on that.
And Matt, as we have been talking about in great length, the dominance of Kylie Sowers-Miller, we saw that in the first possession. Deep in the post, knocks it off the glass, and gets it right in.
Yeah, she's getting right in the mix. There's no fear from Kylie Sowers-Miller. She knows she's the tallest girl out there, and she's going to dominate, and you see her just stand right in the paint, making her presence known.
Shot is up from long range. That is off the mark by Vital. Horsley the other way. Horsley, middle of the floor, works it to Hannah Williams. Williams guarded up top. Williams tries to put it on the floor. Couple moves and blocked down low. Good defense by Rory Hoffmeyer. Swung out that left side, almost a catch and shoot. They go back to Hoffmeyer, then they work it out to Vital. Right side, Hoffmeyer dumps it inside, and that's almost too easy for Sowers-Miller.
And Joe, right off the bat, you can see, I think the Coyotes almost surprised because the Pima's really hanging back. They're hanging back behind the three-point line, making them come in. And I think they're asking themselves, like, do we drive in? Do we shoot? So they've really got to come in and start controlling the pace and running the offense.
Aztecs coming out. They're not playing zone. They're playing man-to-man. Vital with the steal. It's the Aztecs in transition. The squad that puts up over 70 points a game. 10-3, ranked 12th overall. Coach Holthouse right in front of us. Sowers Miller up and in, right around Chloe Olberg, and just like that, Sowers Miller willing herself and leading her team strong. 6 points quickly out of the gates.
And Joe, if the Cats don't close up that gap down low, you're going to expect to see that all night long from Sowers Miller. That's her bread and butter. That's what she does.
McKaylin Horsley fires up a 3. Good stroke from the outside. Good to see McKaylin get off to that quick start. A player that has put so much time in the gym to really work on her game and get better. She cares and wants to be a fine-tuned athlete on the court. Sowers Miller again. They're feeding her early and often. That time, a little bit of a double team. And that's exactly, Matt, you kind of talked about this off camera. Olberg with the jumper that's short. Sowers Miller comes down with it. Play zone and make Sowers Miller put a couple bodies in her and really make her work inside.
Yeah, no doubt. That'd be great.
It's worked back outside. The shot is up, and that one's off the mark. And good work in the post by Hannah Williams and Chloe Olberg. Coyotes ball, 6:15 left in the first, a 6-5 Pima lead. So right out of the gates, Coyotes off to a good start in this one. Putting up some points, Ortiz. Horsley lets it fly. That's off the mark. Loose ball picked up by the Aztecs. Milicia Nelson. Inside and a good feed and banked in. Rory Hoffmeyer with the bucket. Hoffmeyer got deep into the post and just a good cut inside.
Yeah. Good movement from the Aztecs.
Daniel now up top. Smout works it to Daniel. Daniel, couple dribbles inside. Daniel going strong. Too high off the glass. Sowers Miller, another rip. Transition, Aztecs. Vital dumps it. Hoffmeyer inside. Kicked in the corner. Good close in by Horsley. Hoffmeyer. Vital in the corner. Vital strokes it from the outside. Montanea Vital with the big 3.
And that was just a great release from Vital. Silky smooth, great workaround by the Aztecs, and took her mark.
Also great recognition by the team, knowing where everyone was on the course. On the court, I should say, as Horsley drives in with an opportunity at the 3-point play. Aztecs on that side, just the good ball recognition and knowing where everyone was on the court. Good spacing. Vital left open in the corner.
Yeah. And on Horsley, I mean, I love that drive. She drove in with power, aggression, and knew she was going to get body checked. She put it in and went all the way. But I was going to say this earlier. That's something that the post players on the Coyotes team need to do. You can tell they're a little intimidated by the height advantage that the Aztecs hold. They've got to go in, shoulder down, take a little bump or a hit, and maybe go to the free throw line, but definitely contact when they drive in.
Horsley nails the 3-point play. She's got 6 quick ones. Coyotes only trailing by 3. Off to a good start here. They struggled against Mesa.
Yeah.
Couldn't find their footing whatsoever, and by the halftime, they were just hoping that one would end quickly. Now they're looking to rebound against a Pima team that has caused them all kinds of problems this season. Brianna Martin down in the post, and that one is defended well. Ball's loose as Cheryl Yazzie now in the game. Aztecs come over, they swing it to Vital, and Vital tries to work it down in the post, and that's thrown away. Aztecs with a bad possession as they were looking for Sophia Cambridge down in the paint. Of course, this Pima team, national title aspirations.
Yeah.
They've got the ranking. If they show well in the conference tournament and basically hold their own down the stretch, you got to figure they're going to be a shoo-in regardless of what happens in the region tournament. Of course, Mesa ranked number 5. It's almost a given that Corey Stevenson and her team are on their way.
Of course.
And you kind of look at their record, 13-0 in league play. They are the best team we've seen in league this year. They can do just about everything. They can beat you in the post, the outside, slash. A tremendous team. So the national tournament will be well represented by the Arizona Community College Athletic Conference with players and teams able to make a lot of noise in the national tournament.
Yeah.
Good defense by the Coyotes, and we kind of talked about it. Trap the post, and that time they collapsed on it. The turnover forced.
Yeah, and I love Brianna Martin. She was really getting into the mix.
Nacio. Good drive, comes up empty. Flipped outside. Vital puts on the floor. Vital, the good move. Kicked out. Now worked that right side in the corner. And you can tell with the Aztecs, they really work Vital. Vital is just working the baseline and going from corner to corner, looking for a good shot. The Coyotes are recognizing that and keeping her from getting a good shot off. Hell, how about the great steal by Cheryl Yazzie? Worked out to Elena West. Elena fires it up, and Elena can't get the roll. Good defense by the Aztecs, getting back in transition. Vital running kind of that point forward situation. And now it's pulled back out with Milicia Nelson running it. Nelson thought about it, works it. Aztecs with Brianna Martin. Martin with the block. Great defense by Brianna. A good block on Sophia Cambridge. And right now you can tell that when Sowers Miller's not in the game, it's almost like the Coyotes can play the Aztecs pretty even.
Yeah.
And now Sowers Miller quickly back in the game.
Yep.
But as we kind of talked about, Matt, double her, make her earn everything. I would front her and put a body in the back, make her earn everything.
Absolutely. That's the type of defensive power they're going to have on Kylie Sowers Miller. She's just such a powerhouse and the foundation for the team.
Daniel up top. They work it to Brianna. Brianna, a little soft touch, a little short as Sowers Miller on the defense and the rip. Now it's going the other way with Alicia Nelson. Now it's Vital. So we've seen Vital run some of the point and be a sharp shooter on the outside. Vital, little scoop, won't go. Good position by Daniel. Now it's Cheryl Yazzie the other way. Aztecs do a good job getting back in transition. Worked outside. Nacio, good quick step, will fire it up from the outside. And that one just off the iron. Pulled in by the Aztecs, working that left side quickly. Daniel does a good job getting back defensively. They try to throw it down to Sowers Miller. Nacio breaks it up. Daniel gets it back. Daniel works it to Nacio. And a great job by Jalen just to dribble out. She's got the speed and does a good job. And a little roll up and a little scoop. And Jalen will shoot a pair. And I got to tell you, Matt, last year, Jalen Nacio would not have been able to do that.
No.
She would have been unpoised, thrown the ball away, or take some off-balance shot. That time, had a one-on-one battle, positioned herself well to put the ball decently on the rim and shoot some free throws.
Yeah, her confidence level in the game has definitely increased, just as a player and I think even IQ, just knowing her position on the court and playing that position to the best of her abilities. And look, it worked in her advantage where she's now at the line.
Jalen makes one of two, a two-point game. Aztecs on the other end. Sowers Miller down in the post. This time they go in the different direction. And that is banked in by Lucy Land. So Lucy Land showing she's got the ability to post up and show the touch off the glass.
Yeah. Now the Aztecs definitely have very tall, athletic girls. I mean, they can just get in front of the ball and put it up.
Sowers Miller off the turnover and might have gotten away with the reach in on Elena West and might have gotten away with some steps underneath as well.
Definitely. Definitely some steps. You know, Joe, I will say, Brianna Martin wasn't in the game very long, but the brief time she was, I liked it. I think that the lineup, the height with Kylie Sowers Miller was a good balance and was forcing some different plays from the Aztecs that we weren't normally seeing before. So hopefully she can return the court. It looks like she maybe came out, maybe got bumped in the face with something. We're not entirely sure, but I like the dynamics of how this game is panning out thus far.
It's early, but the Coyotes are holding their own. I mean, you kind of look at what they've done. Sowers Miller already 6 quick ones, and then they've got sporadic buckets from different players on the roster. But if the Coyotes can front the post with a double team, look, make them beat you from the outside, and
Yeah.
I'm okay living with that. I mean, Sowers Miller, her field goal percentage, almost 62%, one of the best in the nation. Here's a kid, has a great shot to be playing at the D1 level next year.
Yep.
She's going to get the look. She has the size, and point blank, she's almost automatic underneath. Make her earn everything and make the Aztecs' remaining roster beat them from the outside.
Absolutely.
Juliet Bo-Tiller fires it up, and Juliet off the mark. Mad scramble. And good hustle by Chloe Olberg. Worked in between Sowers Miller as well as Adaya Chi for the Coyotes to retain possession. 37.5 seconds left in this first period. A good one as the Coyotes are giving number 12 Pima all it can handle. Elena West, Bo-Tiller fires it up.
Ooh,
and
good shot.
Juliet with the bank off the glass for three. And it's a 1-point game.
And Joe, I'll tell you, these shots that the Coyotes have been throwing up, not all of them gone in, but they've been quick, decisive, and that's what you want to see from your shooters.
Great job by the Coyotes. Elena West came up and put a little friction on Sowers Miller, and still a good look off the glass, but not good enough. Now the Coyotes can play for the final shot. 3 seconds, and Elena will dribble that off, and that shot is up and almost banked in by Yazzie, but still a very strong first period for the Coyotes as they're hanging tough. And it started with McKaylin Horsley, 6 quick points, knocking down a three, and then the three-point play.
Yeah, I think Mac really came out strong, played explosively, and maybe sparked her team into ignition. I mean, she went in strong, hit that nice outside shot, but what I liked more was that strong drive where she went head-on with Kylie Sowers-Miller, the clear size disadvantage, and took the hit but made it in and went to the line. So I think that sparked some energy for the team for sure.
On the other side, Kylie Sowers-Miller imposing her will, 6 quick points in this one to give Pima a 1-point advantage. And one thing I'm thinking that's pretty clear in this one early, Matt, is that, look, the Coyotes have lost twice to Pima. This is it. You get one last shot. Pima's going to the postseason. Chandler-Gilbert's not. This is about pride, respect, and, Chandler-Gilbert's endured a lot of painful losses this year, multiple games they've been in, and just a basket here, lack of execution here. The record could be so much different. But this right now is a team showing up and showing that they're not just going to bow down and let Pima walk all over them, especially in their gym.
Absolutely. And look, we've talked about the history between the men's team, and it bleeds over. It's not the same for the women. They don't have the same record, but it bleeds over for sure.
Now we start the second period. Cheryl Yazzie, guarded by Chi. Daniel, picked up by Land. Daniel, good recognition. Elena, 11. Elena will scoop it up, and Elena with the scoop in, and the Coyotes with a 1-point lead. Great job and a great use of the clock. Sowers-Miller exactly where you want her, deep out of the paint. Good defense by Chloe Olberg. Chi picked up by Yazzie. Great defense by the Coyotes. Lucy Land inside, and Lucy Land with a good touch. But you cannot fault the Coyotes defensively. They did everything you needed in that possession. And the defense on Lucy Land just made a tough shot over Daniel.
Yeah.
Yazzie.
Good movement.
Misses, but Elena West will track it down. Yazzie thought about the elbow. Good recognition. Bo-Tiller fires it up. That's a little strong. Land with the rebound. 15-14. Aztecs with a 1-point advantage. It's kicked inside. Sowers-Miller, and Sowers-Miller too deep in the post, and when she's that deep, it's almost automatic.
Yeah, that's an impossible spot to be in when she's got the inside lane, and so she's going to take it to the rim every time.
Also in the game for a brief second was Amelia Buffel Gutierrez checking back in. Kennedy Neiman, the starter. We're also seeing Sarah Smout and Hannah Williams back in the game for Chandler-Gilbert. Of course, McKaylin Horsley, great first period, 6 quick points. Like to see her get on track and get another touch or two and continue that hot play from the first period. Absolutely. So a little timeout on the floor, and of course, Coming up later on, we have the men's game. Chandler-Gilbert, just a one-game lead over Glendale for second place in the conference. And we got Pima right to our left, and they're 25-0, Matt, and they are cruising through. And Brian Peabody, who just won his 700th game recently for Pima, and to this date, this might be his best team he's had at Pima. They can do anything and everything, and they've got a talented deep bench as well.
Yeah, I mean, that men's team for Pima it's going to be a spectacular game to watch, and they're a great team, and they're fast-paced, weaponized, so we'll see how that game plays out.
For Coach Steve Silsby and crew, they are motivated. And on the other side, Sarah Smout, big time motivated, draining the three. We're even at 17. Sowers Miller, now she's seeing a double team in a post. And Sowers Miller showing her ability to pass out of the double team. And that's taken away by Olberg, who works it to Smout. Smout up the floor quickly to Bo Tiller. And that's the thing as well, Matt. Make Sowers Miller run the course.
Yeah.
Make it a track meet where she's got to run up and down and then defend her position. And that should, if she can't keep up, that's going to give the Coyotes an advantage down in the post every single time. Olberg.
Absolutely.
And how about Olberg? Tough inside. Kloa with an opportunity at the three-point play. And the Coyotes with a 19-17 lead.
And Joe, I'll tell you, this is just well-executed basketball by the Coyotes. They're working it around. They're looking for the open shots. I love what they're doing with the quick screen, a little runoff, and a nice shot. And then working it down to Cole Olberg, taking it strong, going against Sowers Miller, and their defense has been awesome as well.
Olberg can't connect on the three-point play, but still a very talented drive and a two-point lead for the Coyotes. Katie Burns in the game from Catalina Foothills in Tucson. Lucy Land way out. Good dribble penetration by Neiman. Once again, good defense inside.
Yeah.
Hoffmeyer denied underneath. And right now, it's a collective effort in the post, and the Coyotes are coming up big. They are understanding exactly the angles that the Aztecs are coming at them with, and everyone's anticipating, and they're getting there early. No one step slow, no not knowing where to be. And you can tell that the Coyotes coming into this game offensively, they look crisp. Defensively, they're playing tough, and they understand that the Aztecs, with Sowers Miller, that this team has got to be collectively a group effort to defend the post at all costs. And that shot is fired up, and that is just off the mark by Bo Tiller. Sowers Miller, already 5 rebounds in this first half. Sowers Miller, tallest player on the court. This is fired up from the outside. That's off the mark. Lucy Land comes up with it. Hoffmeyer will let it go, and Hoffmeyer with a good stroke from about 10 out. Hoffmeyer with the good poise. She's got 4 points. It's a 19-19 ball game.
And Joe, I'm okay with those quick little jumpers on the inside from the Aztecs. Those are going to happen, and I like the Coyotes forcing that out. I think the Aztecs are more used to people jumping on that and then kicking it right down to Sowers Miller for the bucket. So I'm okay with those jump shots.
Kalen Horsley gets it back. Hannah Williams. And Hannah Williams, tough drive, and that's a 1-on-3 situation. And she earns an opportunity as Kennedy Neiman picks up the foul. Very crisp game so far. Only 2 fouls in this one, a couple against Pima. Non-shooting as Smout will inbound it. Works it quickly to Olberg. Smout guarded heavily on the perimeter. Hannah Williams, and now the Aztecs are going man-to-man in a big way. Runner by Horsley off the mark. Pulled down by Gabriela Sanchez, who just checked in. Work beat the other way by Melicia Nelson. Nelson swings it out to the outside. Neiman, now it's Lucy Land. Land showing her ability to work outside the post. And good steal by Hannah Williams. Williams going strong, and how about the spin move by Hannah Williams and the basket. 21-19 Coyotes. Just a tremendous move by Hannah Williams. And Lucy Land, and they're going to call the blocking foul by Hannah Williams. Lucy Land checking out, non-shooting as Vital checks back in, and Vital coming back in. That just tells you that it's all about spacing for the Aztecs, trying to get her loose in some corners. Shot is up from the outside. That is off the mark. Ortiz with the rebound. And the Coyotes doing a great job trapping the post and making the Aztecs earn their stripes from the outside. Good crowd on hand. Of course, the Aztecs always bring their share of their fan base. Ortiz past Vital. Smout underneath. Smout will get it back. Smout. 4 on the shot clock. Smout will have to fire it up, and Sarah Smout gets the roll. What a play by Sarah Smout with the shot clock winding down, and the Coyotes lead by 4.
And I'll tell you, Joe, this game thus far has been full of those tough, gritty shots, just pushing through a line of defense and throwing it up, and they've been landing.
Vital. Hoffmeyer picked up, worked out to Vital, and that is thrown away. Good defense by the Coyotes. And you got to wonder how long Coach Holthouse will keep Sowers-Miller off the court. When she's in the game, no question a difference maker.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's willing to roll the dice a little bit and see where his team can go in this second period. Elena West checking in. West loses the handle. She gets it back, little floater, in and out. Brianna, tough underneath. No foul call on Sanchez. Worked the other way by Milicia Nelson. Chucked
Good
inside. Daniel with the active hands, defending Hoffmeyer in the post. West strolling up. So far, the Coyotes very actively defensively. Ortiz blocked by Sanchez. Brandon Martin swings it over to Elena West. And Elena West with some frustration, but as Brianna Martin got the ball back to her, maybe a little too quickly, but still, got to be ready for the basketball and don't take any angst out on your teammate, especially when you're in a good contest, your team collectively playing well.
Right.
Alicia Nelson picked up by the Coyotes. Vital will let it fly from the outside. Vital too strong. Hoffmeyer could easily been called going over the back on Daniel. They let that go. So the referees, a veteran crew, are letting these teams play. Ortiz with Martin calling for it down in the post, and Brianna's got to get that hand up and get that one. Good pass. Vital. It's worked up top, and that is off the mark. And once again, the Aztecs, they call the foul against Chandler-Gilbert, but right now the Aztecs are struggling from the field.
Yes.
Daniel picks up the foul, but you'll surrender a foul on a defensive possession where the Aztecs, they can't find the rim right now from the outside.
Well, and Joe, that's one of the benefits of playing a team 3 times. You know the dynamics, you know what they're going to be doing, and I think this Aztecs team, just like that, is used to finding those open lanes, and the Coyotes doing a good job putting themselves in front of the tall post players and making steals.
So Daniel with fouls on consecutive defensive possessions as Annalise Holthouse will go to the line. Annalise, of course, the son of the head coach. I've asked him in the past if that's tough coaching your daughter. Some days are better than others. 50% free throw shooter, make that 57%, and she knocks down the first. A 23-20 Chandler-Gilbert lead with 2:32 left in the second period. And would you expect anything different, Matt? Coach's daughter knocks down both free throws in a clutch situation.
That's definitely something that's been drilled for sure.
Ortiz picked up by Vital. Horsley going baseline. Horsley just a little too strong. Hoffmeyer with the rip. Nelson swings it the other way. Kenny Neiman. Back to Nelson. Nelson gets it to Neiman. Vital from the outside. Vital off the mark. Ortiz forcing the pace. Vital comes up with the steal. Some bodies colliding, so there is a little bit of leniency on physical contact in this one for the referees. 23-21. Milicia Nelson dumps inside. Hoffmeyer going strong, and Hoffmeyer once again. Ortiz, good defense, and West was down in the post as well. Nothing easy. Look, sometimes that pick and roll might be there, but as long as you trap and recognize and attack the body, put a hand up, you got an opportunity to make a defensive play, and we saw that right there with Melanie Ortiz.
Yeah, the Coyotes defense, communication's been solid. They've been putting their bodies into it, but right there, Cole Olberg battling it out down low in the post, even when the ball's not in the down low post area.
Hannah Williams with the good block. Possession in favor of the Aztecs. Buck 37. Great first half for the Coyotes. No question, this is one of their best halves this season. They've been sharp offensively. They've been hustling. They haven't been getting owned on the glass and doing a great job defensively, making the Aztecs earn everything. And that is a close call right there. And they're going to call the foul on Elena West, but you know, Hoffmeyer didn't have position whatsoever, and Hoffmeyer was moving the basket, and West was there. That's a 50-50 call right there that goes against Elena West, but I love the effort and making Hoffmeyer work.
Yeah.
Right now, the Aztecs are earning everything they get off the inbounds. Nelson will work it to Hoffmeyer. Hoffmeyer has not seen enough from the outside or shown the ability to hit shots from the outside, I should say. Vital getting picked up. Hoffmeyer, they go to Vital. Vital high off the glass, misses the bunny. Yazzie is there. And this time the possession arrow goes in favor of the Coyotes. So another great defensive possession. About to check in Jalen Nacio. And anytime Jalen's in the game, you know what that means? It's going to speed up the game a little bit.
Yeah.
Good dribbler and has shown the ability just to be more poised with the basketball and create and is more confident with their shot. Jalen has done a really good job in this second half of the year, just blossoming into a really good basketball player. Nacio.
And this is the opportunity for the Coyotes while Kai Sauer-Miller is out. Run the offense fast, get some points on the board, and widen that gap before halftime so you have a nice some breathing room into the second half.
Hannah Williams works her way into a 1-on-3 situation, trapped underneath. Now it's the Aztecs. 49 seconds, 22 on the shot clock. Going strong, and how about the block from behind? Yazzie coming up big. And once again, the Coyotes defensively being tough. In the right place, in the right time. Nelson off the inbounds, works it quickly to Neiman. Up top, Holthouse, Vital, couple dribbles. They go inside to Holthouse. Holthouse comes up short off the glass. Loose ball. It's going the other way. So the Coyotes, great defense.
Yes.
They can settle for the last shot with 30.2 seconds left in the first half, and they can wind down every second and go into halftime with the lead and maybe extend it on this possession. Sarah Smout being D'd up in a big way by Milicia Nelson. Yazzie. And that was good active hands by Kenny Neiman. Coach Strickland calling out the play from the sidelines. Sarah Smout. Smout fires it up, a little too strong. Going up, Olberg with the miss. Taken away. So that is how the first half ends. Coyotes with a 23-21 lead. A great first half from the Coyotes. Michaelan Horsley, 6 points. Sarah Smout with 5. Cole Olberg with 3. Williams, West with a pair. Juliet Botiller with a 3. And Matt, collectively, this is just a good, strong effort by the team all the way around. And arguably their best half of the year.
Yeah, I mean, they've played great. They've worked hard. And I love that all the girls are getting touches and feeling it, right? They're getting to the rim. They're connecting. The shots are landing. And that's a really good sign. We don't see that every time they play. And especially coming off that Mesa loss, I think they're hungry. They don't want to lose again, especially to Pima on the home court, especially tonight in the third the third game against them. So they're hustling. That's what you really want to see, and I think it's a well-paced, well-matched game across the board.
On the other side, Kylie Sowers-Miller. We talk about her dominance in the post, averaging almost 17 and 10. Field goal percentage off the charts, almost 63%. She's got 8 points, and when she is facing the basket, she is almost automatic every single time.
Yeah, I mean, she's a college coach's dream for a down low post player. She knows how to use her body. She knows how to push other girls around, get to the rim, and she's good positionally. You can see she knows the court. She has that game IQ, and so she's lethal. But I can't. You got to say the Cavs have done a good job defending her tonight. They've locked her up. They've double teamed, kind of like we talked about in the early part of the show, and that's what you're going to have to do against this team.
Man, what I really like about the Coyotes, too, is if the Aztecs miss a shot and Sowers-Miller is on the court, Matt Strickland saying full steam ahead.
Yeah.
They're making Sowers-Miller run the court.
Yeah.
And that works into the Coyotes' advantage because if they get the ball up the court, Sowers-Miller, who is great down in the post, they've got to make her work nonstop. And they're making that happen. Sowers-Miller is usually the last one back on the other side of the court, so the Coyotes are forcing Sowers-Miller to get back on defense, and that comes down to the Coyotes speeding up the game, and they work the ball up quickly, and then all of a sudden they're in an extra man advantage as Sowers-Miller is usually the last one trailing back.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Sowers-Miller, and the stats show it, how foundational of a piece she is for the Aztec team. And, I mean, you saw it right there at the end. She sat for the last 3 to 4 minutes of that second quarter because she was winded, she was tired, and I think coach is looking at it, hey, I need her for the rest of this game, so let's let her rest up in halftime, and she'll be ready for the second half. But that's going to play huge to their advantage, and I think it shows the strategy is working.
So we're going to take a short timeout for the Coyotes Center. The Coyotes maybe a half away from upsetting number 12 Pima. Tremendous first half by Coach Strickland and his ladies. More basketball to come from the Coyotes Center. Of course, later on it's the Coyotes, the men's squad, taking on number 2 Pima. More from Chandler-Gilbert, Matt McCurdy, Joe Pequeno on the Chandler-Gilbert Sports Network. Closing in on the second half, Coyotes with a 2-point lead over 12th ranked Pima. Matthew Strickland and his team coming out after, no question, was a great locker room halftime. And Matt, we've seen everything go right for the Coyotes. Obviously their best half of the year. Instinctively, offensively, they were crisp, good ball movement. Defensively, rotating well and making the Aztecs beat them from the outside. And so far, the Aztecs, Pima, not hitting, not stroking it from outside the post.
No, they've played tremendously in this first half, and now the real deal, right? Lock in whatever hunger, whatever energy you're pulling from defensively, offensively in that first half. Don't lose it now. Keep it going. Stay strong and continue what you're doing. Force Sowers Miller to run and move and double teamer, and they've got a good chance at pulling this one off.
Sowers Miller, Vital, Hoffmeyer, Kenny Neiman, and Milicia Nelson, the starters for the Aztecs, back on the floor. Of course, the Aztecs in their teal and orange. The Coyotes back on the floor in their gray and teal. So the Coyotes, a squad that's only won 2 league games, both against South Mountain. Ortiz, Williams, Smout, Horsley, and Holberg back on the floor. Coyotes, 20 minutes away from arguably, no question, I should say, their biggest win under new coach Matthew Strickland.
Yeah, no doubt.
Nelson getting tied up by Smout. Kenny Neiman swings it back to Milicia Nelson. Smout giving chase. Neiman from 3. Neiman. And that is ripped from the outside. But as we talked about, Matt, you're okay with that.
Yeah.
If the Aztecs beat you from the outside, they do. But they can't just let Sowers Miller have a field day down in the post.
Yeah. I mean, that's something we've seen 2 or 3 times tonight, is that whipping it from side to side and getting that wide open shot. So, yeah, I think we're good with that.
Ortiz loses the handle. Slipped on the court. And now the Aztecs bench making some noise. And the Aztecs have their share of fans in the crowd as well. Todd Holthouse, the head coach of the Aztecs, right next to us, essentially. He's got his hand on press row. He's intense and watching his team, trying to hold off this gritty Coyotes team. Hoffmeyer from the outside. That's off the mark. Sowers Miller. Perfect position. Up and in. And it's the Aztecs coming out with 4 quick points.
And it's clear the Aztecs not happy with that first half performance. They brought a new hunger and energy level to the second half. They're trying to fuel up and bring it to the Coyotes.
Smout works her way in the post. Hannah Williams cutting. 5 on the shot clock. Smout will throw it up, and that was just a bad possession by the Coyotes. Not able to handle the basketball, and now Coach Strickland is going to call a full timeout. And you know what? That's a good timeout.
Yeah.
Out of the gates, the Aztecs come out. 4 quick ones. Sowers Miller once again putting pressure inside. And the Coyotes on back-to-back possessions almost looking lost, not crisp, not handling the basketball as well.
Yeah. I think we've seen this multiple times from the Coyotes where they play really well in the first half, and then they're not ready for the punch that comes from the halftime talk from the opposing team that lost the first half. And that's what the Aztecs did. They came out here, put a plan together, and they punched right back. And so the Coyotes got to come out ready to take that hit and just keep pounding away at what they built on in the first half. Hopefully this timeout does that.
26-23, the Aztecs now on top after trailing by 2 at the break. Aztecs, of course, they lost to Scottsdale a couple games ago. Scottsdale ranked in the top 25. They rebounded with the victory over Phoenix College. And, of course, Chandler-Gilbert coming off the loss to number 5, Mesa. It's Ortiz. Ball pressure against Kennedy Neiman. Neiman dumps inside to Sowers Miller. Sowers Miller going up and in. Sowers Miller, another opportunity, just followed her shot. She's got 12 points. The lead is 5 for the Aztecs. They've started this second half on a 7-0 run. Smout, Olberg going inside. Blocked by Sowers Miller. Alicia Nelson up the middle of the floor. Picked up by Horsley. Sowers Miller setting a little bit of a screen. Then works it inside. And Hoffmeyer gets fouled by Ortiz. And Sowers Miller is showing her ability to facilitate as Hoffmeyer cutting to the rim.
And you can see the Aztecs coming out of this halftime kind of strategizing. Look, they see the Coyotes are triple, double teaming Sowers Miller when she gets that down low pass. And so that was a great strategy there, using Hoffmeyer to work it on the other side. Nice little pass down low, and she'll head to the line.
Hoffmeyer, a 72% free throw shooter. Misses on the first. Misses on both. Olberg. Yazzie and Horsley. Almost a bit of a miscommunication. And that's what we talk about, being so crisp in the first half, coming out here. Everyone's got to be on the same wavelength to have an opportunity here.
Yeah.
Olberg loses the handle. Gets it back. West. And West with that scoop and draws enough of the teal jersey to go to the line.
And I'll tell you, Joe, I'm okay with that. I like the shots the Coyotes are taking, but sometimes you got to realize it's not landing. Drive in hard, go right at the post, and let them foul you.
West putting up 6 points a game. 60% free throw shooter, connects on the first. And talk about going to the line at just the right time where the Coyotes were just a little off balance.
Definitely.
Communication not as strong, ball movement not as good, and connecting on at least one of two gives them a little bit of momentum. Other way. Nelson lost the handle. Neiman works to Sowers Miller inside, and Sowers Miller, just a beast. She's got 14 points, a 30-24. Elena West over to Horsley as Coach Holthouse is calling for ball pressure from his team. Hoffmeyer, Daniel. Blocked by Hoffmeyer. Nelson. Inside, Sowers Miller going back up and in. And a timeout on the floor. And Sowers Miller wanted the foul call. And Sowers Miller is just starting to open things up. She's got 16 points, 8 quickly here in the third.
Yeah, I mean, Sowers Miller has really come out and absolutely just dominated. Where she seemed gassed out and slowed down, that extra rest time, and now a little bit of game plan in the locker room has really changed it around. So she's coming out and dominating.
So now we look at the body language of the Coyotes, trailing 32-24, and this is where they've got to find a will and the ability to fight.
Yeah.
And because this is a critical moment. The Aztecs have started this second half. They're on 11-1 run right now. And the Coyotes have got to show the ability to fight, persevere, and grind through this one. If not, we've seen this anytime the Coyotes have played an upper echelon team. It's a critical moment where the Aztecs can really open this one up.
Yeah.
And the Coyotes have got to fight right here, and it starts on this possession. Daniel.
And I'll tell you, Joe, one thing I'm not seeing nearly as much of from the first half to now, not nearly as much body contact bumping in that down low post area. There was a lot more body on body. We're just not seeing that. I think they need to bring that back.
Lana West. Guarded by Neiman. Ball is up. Neiman comes up with it. Vital swings it over to Nelson. Nelson middle of the floor. Picked up by Horsley. Worked up top, Vital. Yazzie on Vital. Pass in the post, going away, and Daniel takes it away. West swings it out to Yazzie. 23 on the shot clock. Yazzie tries to fire it up, and they'll call the offensive on Sherrill, and that's a good call. No question, there was good positioning down in the post by the Aztecs. And we kind of talked about that in the first half, the Coyotes' ability to recognize. In that situation, Yazzie was being guarded from the side. The post presence was there. Make that one extra pass.
Yeah.
Kicked outside. Vital. Yazzie, good defense. Brianna Martin now in the game. Worked on the other side. Nelson. Lucy Land. Land with a little bit of elbow. Can't connect. Sherrill Yazzie. And that situation right there, Land had the ability to take a dribble in. And Yazzie loses the handle. As Jalen Nasio about to check in. 32-24. And Sherrill Yazzie using that sidelines as almost an extra defender for the Aztecs. We talk about it so much. Get the ball in the middle of the floor. Lucy Land dumps it inside. Great takeaway by Elena West against Holthouse. Elena West and a bad pass. Coyotes have got to be crisper. Going the other way. Neiman. And Neiman will shoot a pair. The foul on Elena West. And we talk so much about crispness and effectiveness, and right now the Coyotes are kind of just throwing the ball away, just getting sloppy with the basketball.
And, Joe, I think in the rush of moving the ball, you can hear Coach Strickland calling to his girls, get it down. He's trying to run the Aztec team and lose them some steam, but once again, you got to stay composed as you move with speed. You can't just run down, throw a bad pass, or rush a pass to a player who's not looking and hope for the best. You got to bring it down fast, and then the whole team then has to play together and be reactive.
Nice, 1 of 2. It's a 9-point lead for the Aztecs. West loses the ball, tries to go behind her back. Now Horsley loses the ball. Nelson, and that should have been a kick ball against Jalen Nasio, and that was a bad no call by the referees. That was painfully obvious. But right now, Coyotes got to take a deep breath.
Yeah.
They got to pull it together. Coach Matthew Strickland, he's just got to be frustrated watching this. This is one bad pass, one bad possession after another. And we're not even talking about getting into your offense.
Right.
I mean, it's the buildup of getting there. It implodes. Nelson,
Walk.
Down low, mad scramble. It's going to be a tie-up situation. And that's the situation. Holthouse gets the timeout call. And Matthew Strickland's upset because he felt it should have been a tie-up situation.
Right.
And the referees gave it to the Aztecs. So needs to say they'll have a timeout, and things are going their way. They've started this third period in great fashion. They're on a 12-1 run right now, and it's easy to say Sowers-Miller, of course, controlling it. She's got 8 points, but right now, the big differential in this third period, Matt, it's not how well the Aztecs have been playing. It's just the lack of basic execution by the Coyotes of just getting into their half-court offense.
Yeah, it's been ineffective offense. They've just been running it and then getting it picked off by a bad pass, or truthfully, not protecting the ball as the dribbler. They're dribbling right out in front of themselves, letting them pick it right off. You got to change pace, pull it back, and really protect that ball.
Lucy Land swings it. Katie Burns. Up to Malicia Nelson. Nelson was smout on her. Nelson gets the screen, works it down low. And good defense as the shot clock expires. So one bright moment here in the third period for the Coyotes to see if they can capitalize on a good possession. Smout works it up the floor. Smout, good job against Malicia Nelson, who was putting body contact all the way up the floor. Now the Aztecs are really picking up their defense. Smout going strong. Won't go. Coyotes with nobody in sight for an offensive rebound. And that is drilled in the corner by Kennedy Neiman. Neiman, a couple threes here in the third. And the lead is 12 for the Aztecs. Rafael Gutierrez about to check in for the Aztecs. Daniel. And Daniel is blocked by Hoffmeyer. Alicia Nelson swings in the corner. Katie Burns fires it up. That's off the mark. Jalen Nacio comes down with it. And a tie-up by Hoffmeyer. White ball as Rafael Gutierrez checks in. Williams and Bo Tiller checking in for the Coyotes. Todd Holthouse very active on that sidelines for the Aztecs. Rafael Gutierrez, tight defense on Sarah Smout up the floor. Smout works it to Nacio. Nacio, good move. Nacio inside dish, and that is the best pass we've seen in this game tonight. Wow. Jalen Nacio inside of Brianna Martin, and that was just gorgeous.
What a great read.
Fantastic move, and on the other end, Lucy Land deep in the post, and Land has been highly effective in this one off the bench with 6 points. The lead is 12. Bo Tiller. Jalen Nacio showing her electric speed. Nacio. And Nacio draws the contact.
And I like that call, Joe. We've seen a lot from both teams. A lot of little reaches in, a little digs around the side, and not much calling from the referees on that. So I like that he called that.
Checking in. Reese Neiman back in. That's fired up from the outside, won't go. Nacio will scoop it in off the little spin, and Jalen Nacio is just playing a tremendous third period.
And I'll tell you, Joe, I'm surprised that wasn't called for a foul. With the scoop and the bring down by Hoffman, I'm surprised it wasn't called for an and one.
Rafael Gutierrez works it outside. Shot is up by Katie Burns. That's off the mark. Smout with the rebound. Smout and Coach Strickland pleading with this team to get the ball up the court. Rafael Gutierrez up top. Williams with a brief screen. Williams. Lucy Land with the steal. Land. Little fake, and off the glass. And the Coyotes' momentum busted after the bad pass. Smout. Williams over to Bo Tiller. Dumped down. Hoffmeyer, active hands. So right now the Coyotes have, one thing we're not seeing is they are almost set in position receiving the ball instead of moving toward the ball. Neiman denied underneath. Smout the other way. Olberg guarded by Land. Olberg will shoot a pair. Chloa, her first opportunity to score in this one with less than a minute left here in the third. Checking in, number 44, Annalise Holthouse. And Lucy Land, a promising young freshman. 8 points in this one as Olberg goes the line. And Chloa connects on the first. A 67% free throw shooter. 40-29. Aztecs have put a strangled hold on this third period. Now the Coyotes, it's all about playing some defense and trying to end this one, this period, on the strong side. Katie Burns, guarded by Bo Tiller. Good defense, Rafael Gutierrez. Worked well by Elena West. Hoffmeyer, elbow, and Hoffmeyer finally knocks one down from the outside. But still, good defense by the Coyotes. Hoffmeyer now with 6 points. Jalen Nacio gets it up the floor. Hannah Williams. Coyotes will play for the final shot. 10 seconds left. West. Rafael Gutierrez. Bo Tiller. Good screen set by Hannah Williams. Jalen Nacio. Nacio will fire it up. That's going to be off the mark. And that is how it's going to end for the Coyotes. And a third period, a struggle. Coyotes outscored 19-9 in that third period, Matt, and now they trail 42-30.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite a deficit they've built up just in that third quarter alone. Sowers Miller obviously coming in and making a huge impact, but you mentioned it during the timeout. It was really just ineffective basketball playing by the Coyotes in the beginning of that third. I love what Jalen Nacio did. She came in, sped it up, worked some finesse into the game. It felt like they got their energy back and they started to roll as an offense again, but that first probably 5-6 minutes or so, just a drag. And you could feel it. The team was scrambled, didn't know what they were doing, and it didn't really kick in until the last couple minutes.
And the first 5 or 6 minutes, just very sloppy with the basketball and just the recognition. Too many one-on-one plays, 1-on-3s going to the rim, and the ball is blocked. And, of course, how many times up the course of going up the court, bad passes, bad anticipation, and, of course, along the way, no one moving toward the pass as well. Aztecs are very active. They're coming to the basketball. So the Coyotes can't just sit back and wait for the perfect, go get it.
Yeah.
Right now, there's an opportunity for them. They got to earn it. They got to take it away. Aztecs, they felt that halftime deficit. And for a team that's playing for a spot in the national tournament, this is a game they expect to win. And the Coyotes have got to take it away from them to earn a monumental victory for Coach Matthew Strickland. So we begin the fourth. Coyotes down 12, 42-30. Worked up top. Kennedy Neiman. Couple dribbles by Alicia Nelson. Good defense by Juliet Botiller. Juliet works it out to Olberg. And the Aztecs wanted to travel on Botiller. Needs to say, they play on. Big possession here for the Coyotes. Opportunity to maybe pull within single digits. Elena West. Good defense and taken away by the Aztecs. And a bad possession by the Coyotes, giving Pima an opportunity to kill some clock and build the lead. Vital coming back in as Reese Neiman checking out. So Reese Neiman, Kenny Neiman, no question. Possible relations. Neiman down the block. Sowers Miller. And I'm going to say Sowers Miller stepped out on the baseline. So a good break for the Coyotes.
And Joe, at this point, too, obviously the Coyotes struggling to get the ball across court. They did a good job passing to Hannah Williams, but the passes are being picked off by the Aztecs. I do a nice hand up. They seem to be able to get the handoff and get the offense started. And that's what I'd be doing if I was the Coyotes.
Williams works it to Olberg. Sowers Miller out of the post. West works it to Williams. 7 on the shot clock. Williams drives. Williams takes it inside. Taken away by Vital. Nacio almost comes up with the steal. Nelson's, and that's going to be a reach and foul on Hannah Williams as Horsley is about to check back in. 8:35 left. Coming up next, it's the men's squad taking on second-ranked Pima. Chandler-Gilbert currently second in the Division II region of the Arizona Community College Athletic Conference. Alicia Nelson, West on her. Pass inside, work to Neiman. Sowers Miller, good defense by Hannah Williams. Getting that hand in there to force the turnover. Nacio with Vital. Nacio. Blocked by Vital, and Vital with the foul. And Vital and Nacio exchanging some words. Jalen playing hard, very quick. You know, in some situations, I would love to see if Jalen gets the ball out in the perimeter, someone set a screen for her, especially if Sowers Miller's out of the post where she's got to defend Olberg, who's coming out outside on the arc a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you, Joe, just by watching, it looked like Nacio was going maybe to do a handoff, but no one was there. And so she drove in, and then Elena was too close to really make a good, smart pass. So it was a good read by Nacio to scoop through, try for a shot, got the foul, worked in her favor. But there was not the right team setup offensively to make anything happen. And you got to wonder why that was.
Nacio with 5 points in this one. She's played fantastic for the Coyotes. On the other end, Neiman works it out to Vital. Vital guarded by Nacio. Take it away. Good defense, and Nacio speeding up the floor. Vital's got to get called for the walk.
Yeah.
That had to come, and there it is. And I think right now Vital and Nacio are in a little bit of a heated battle. And after Vital turned it over, she was going to make sure that Nacio wasn't smooth sailing. And Hoffmeyer off the bad pass by the Coyotes. Hoffmeyer now with 8 points. West works it to Nacio. Nacio will fire up from 3. How about Nacio?
Wow.
And the look back at Vital. And I'm loving that. Jalen Nacio is right now, no question, she is the best player on the court for the Coyotes. Absolutely. She is playing phenomenal. She made the best pass on the floor. She is playing with confidence, and she's giving the Coyotes a first step. And look, she's not intimidated by Pima, and I'm loving that. Because, you know, when you play a team that's obviously got more recognition and maybe just a tad bit more talent, you got to come out with that much more effort. And Jalen Nacio is not backing down. Olberg. And Olberg might have gotten away with the step, but Hoffmeyer gives up the foul.
Once again, great play by Jalen Nacio. Got the screen, wrote it right in turn. I've seen too many times tonight a good screen come, and the guard just goes right around, doesn't close that gap. So great closing of the gap, and then provided a great pass down to Olberg so she could get the foul and go to the line. But Nacio's bringing the spark. She's bringing the energy. She's playing fast and decisive, like you mentioned. And that's something we're just not seeing from all the girls in the second half versus the first half. I think we saw a lot more of that. So kudos to Jalen for sticking in there and playing her best game regardless of the situation.
Olberg with 5 points. Want to state that Chloe did have 2 points in the first half as well. Neiman kicked out. Nelson gets to Hoffmeyer. Vital long range. Vital off the front of the iron. Sowers Miller. And Sowers Miller will shoot a pair. Going to call the foul on Olberg. But once again, I'm okay with Sowers Miller outside her comfort zone, having to shoot a little short jumper, then point blank, looking at the glass and banking it in. Make Sowers Miller earn it at the free throw line, where she's shooting only 58%, but cans the first one. Sowers Miller now with 17 points and make that 18. So the dominant force controlling things at the glass and making it happen at the free throw line as well. Horsley. Neiman coming out. Might have gotten away with a bump. Williams trying to drive. Hoffmeyer in perfect position. Vital the other way. Vital, elbow. Off the mark. Olberg. And that's got to be a loose ball foul against Milicia Nelson. So right now, if you're the Coyotes, right now, Jalen Nacio is playing off the ball, but you really want Nacio bringing the ball up the court with her speed and quickness. Olberg almost lost the handle. And taken away by Neiman. Another bad pass by the Coyotes. Neiman will shoot it from the outside. Nelson is there, and that's just hustle by the Aztecs. Vital swings it across. Hoffmeyer from the elbow. Off the mark. Loose ball. Picked up by Smout. Strickland telling his team to run. Smout works out to Hannah Williams, and that's going to be off the mark. And Matthew Strickland's going to call a timeout. Coyotes within reach, down 10. And as we kind of look at this fourth quarter, it really comes down to sheer will and who wants it more. Who wants it more for the Coyotes? This really comes down to having some grit and determination. And at this point, Matthew Strickland can't play the game for them.
Right.
He's a good coach, and when a pass is thrown your way, you got to catch the ball.
Right.
And if there is 3 bodies in front of you, you can't drive into traffic. You've got to read what the defense is doing to you, and you got to be able to get the ball up the floor and find your teammates in good situations. And right now, we're seeing that from Jalen Nasio, who's playing fantastic. The best basketball I've ever seen her play. She's playing tremendous.
Yeah.
And now she needs to be matched by her other 4 teammates on the court.
Exactly.
If the Coyotes going to have a shot. And they have to get back into double teaming Sowers Miller down in the post. I'm okay. If the Aztecs beat them from the outside, so be it. But make them earn it. Don't make Sowers Miller point blank looks down in the paint. Long shot is up, and that is off the mark. Yazzie, baseline, takes it away. Coyotes making Horsley from the outside. Horsley knocks it down. Michaelan Horsley with the 3. It's a 7-point game.
And I love shots like that. It was quick, it was decisive, she picked it up and shot. And that's when Horsley shines. When she takes her time, it doesn't go in.
Rafael Gutierrez, tough runner, won't go. Smout with a rebound. Smout,
there we go.
Couple dribbles up the floor past Katie Burns. Smout into traffic. Good recognition.
Yeah.
Yazzie, Daniel. Good recognition again. Works at Yazzie. Sets up a screen. Daniel will shoot the 3, and that's going to be off the side of the iron. Smout almost tracked it down. Good effort by Sarah Smout. Rafael Gutierrez will stop and pop. Gutierrez. And right now, the Coyotes are baiting the Aztecs into the kind of game they want them to play.
Yeah, that was a good run. Made them run for it, and obviously the Aztecs did not keep up, so they forced a shot.
Cheryl Yazzie over to Michaelan Horsley. And Horsley banks it in, and 1. Michaelan Horsley. 5 quick fourth quarter points. And an opportunity to go to the line. And the foul is going to be called on Vital.
And Joe talked about showing up, coming out of that timeout. Michaelan Horsley hustling, Sarah Smout hustling, and all the girls really putting that hustle on the court like they need to do in these last 4 minutes.
46-41. Horsley at the line. 67% free throw shooter. Michaelan. And we've got a ball game. It's a 4-point game. And the Coyotes trying to trap in the backcourt for a brief second. Now Vital and Horsley. And the referee has to reset the shot clock to get that in order. About to check in. Katie Burns as well as Milicia Nelson. Nelson from Window Rock up in the White Mountains area. Good basketball game. Coyotes have refound themselves after a very, very sluggish third period. Nelson on West. West bringing the defense. 19 on the clock. Sowers Miller inside, and the back door to Hoffmeyer. Hoffmeyer got loose. 6-point game. Daniel. Yazzie. Coyotes had the numbers for a split second, and Yazzie once again into traffic. 19 on the shot clock. Horsley off the inbounds. Elena West, good opportunity right there on the three. West goes into traffic, blocked by Sowers Miller. Alicia Nelson, middle of the floor. Coyotes get back with Brianna Martin back in the game. Martin fronting Sowers Miller. Hoffmeyer, they go back inside Sowers Miller. Sowers Miller. Hoffmeyer from up top. Hoffmeyer knocks it in. And a timeout on the floor.
And I'll tell you, Joe, Sowers Miller and Hoffmeyer are a dangerous duo. Hoffmeyer also obviously has some good height, not as tall as Sowers Miller, but has height, can dribble, can shoot the jumper, and you see them really once they get in that paint, working it back and forth. Nice little toss there. If one's covered, they kick it back over. Works well.
Sowers Miller with 16, Hoffmeyer with 12. Hoffmeyer really stepping up in this fourth period with 6 points. Coyotes, 3 and change left, down 50-42. And now you got to wonder if they've got enough offensively in the tank to make a run. And you got to wonder if we're going to see Jalen Nausio back on the floor for Chandler-Gilbert as well.
Yeah, I think we saw right there, Nacio came out, Sarah Smout came out, and those were two players who were really running the offense and keeping it running smoothly and effective. So you got to wonder, are they going to join the court again? We may see that. But right now is where they need to be the most decisive and run the offense as crisp as they can.
Horsley with 6 points here in the fourth. 8-point lead, 50-42. Chandler-Gilbert, their only 2 league wins against South Mountain. Matthew Strickland in his first year with Chandler-Gilbert looking for a signature win. Couldn't ask for a bigger one. The Coyotes can rally from an 8-point deficit to knock off number 12 Pima, especially here at the Coyote Center. Coyotes have been in numerous games late in the fourth quarter, and just a possession here, a missed shot there. Bad possession, not handling the basketball, bad turnover. But they have an opportunity here. West, guarded by Nelson. Worked over to Horsley. Horsley. West rolling. West fires it up. Won't go. Pulled down by Melicia Nelson. Nelson. Vital inside of Hoffmeyer, and that's just point blank, pinpoint passing, and the lead is 10.
And they made that look like a drill in practice. A little give and go, 3-man weave.
Smout about to check in. Kaylin Horsley, Katie Burns on her. Coyotes need more bodies in motion. Daniel works it to West. Elena tries to work it inside of Brianna Martin. Tough pass, and Sowers Miller, active, takes it away. A couple bad possessions consecutively by the Coyotes as we are winding down to 2 minutes left. Nelson blocked by Daniel. And Hoffmeyer underneath. And Pima. With 18 on the shot clock as Smout, Olberg, and Nacio check back in. 10-point deficit. Alicia Nelson, they dump it down to Sowers Miller. Won't go. Sowers Miller fronting and banking. And she's got 18. And just like that, the lead is 12. $1:50 left. Smout. Horsley will let it fly from 3. And McKalen knocks it down. Kaylin Horsley. She's got 15 points. 54-45. $1:30 left in this one. And the Coyotes have got to play tight, man. They can't afford to give space. Alicia Nelson, Sowers Miller again. Sowers Miller won't go. Daniel. And the Coyotes can't afford to take their time. Coach Strickland begging for them to keep the pace up top. And Horsley has it knocked away by Vital on the back end. Vital transition. Vital. And that's going to be knocked away by Horsley with a minute and 3 seconds left. And the Coyotes going to have to get a quick turnover and some quick points. Sowers Miller works it to Melicia Nelson. Vital left open. Vital missing from the outside, but Sowers Miller is there. Sowers Miller, good little post move. Good defense and a timeout by Matthew Strickland with 50.9 seconds left. A lot to process. His team, you got to figure, Matt, coming out of the timeout, they're going to look for something quick, something off a screen. You got to figure that they're going to be looking for a quick three.
Yeah, I mean, that's really their only option at this point if they hope to pull ahead, get closer, or win. A 10-point gap is a lot of points to make up in 50 seconds. It's not impossible. It's hard, and only time will tell.
So Matthew Strickland talking things through, and on the other side for Coach Holthouse and his team, they've got a 9-point lead with 50.9 seconds left. Message for them, obviously, take care of the basketball, no foolish fouls, and do what you've been doing all game.
Yeah.
Work it to Sowers-Miller and get Hoffmeyer open from close range.
Yeah, I mean, they've really came out in the second half and showed why they're ranked well in the conference and also in the nation. They've got good firepower, good bodies, athletes, and they work it well. And I love that combination between Hoffmeyer, Sowers-Miller. They've been dynamic, and they've got each other the bucket for the team.
Coyotes, of course, more basketball to be played in their season. And following tonight, a Wednesday trip to Scottsdale. Nacio, decisive, fires it up, and that's just a little short. Neiman the other way. Neiman will pull it back out. Smart play, work on the clock, and quick foul by Jalen.
And you can tell off that inbound play, I think they're hoping to get to Jalen Nacio for a three-point shot. Didn't quite glue the gap on that screen that was set up, and her man slipped through quite easily. So they've got to be execute a little bit better on those screens if they're going to get that open shot.
Neiman with Nacio very close, and Jalen will pick up the foul. So now it looks like the Aztecs are officially in the bonus. And Neiman connects on the first. She was big in the third period with a couple big threes, and she's got 7 points. And make that 8. And Coach Holthouse is just, you can hear him on the sidelines. No fouls whatsoever. Aztecs up by 11. Time winding down. Daniel pulls it back out to Smout. And that is fired up, and that's way off the mark. And Hoffmeyer and the Aztecs will dribble this one out. Coyotes with a valiant effort, but they're going to fall short. Losing 56-45, and we talked about the power in the paint in Kylie Sowers-Miller, a player amongst the best in the conference, and she came up big, 18 points, double-digit rebounds. Once again, a force for the Aztecs against the Coyotes.
Yeah, I mean, she was great. She played well. She brought what everyone expected, right? The height, the talent, the speed, the look at the backboard, and she put it in. And you know, on the positive side, I think the Coyotes played tremendously well in the first half. They held the team, Aztecs and took the lead. But that second half, and we've seen this, where they just don't end the game and really kill it out. They let the other team come back with some energy and control the narrative. And so that's really, I think, where it boiled down to it. At the end, they couldn't come back from that 10-point deficit they ended up with in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we kind of talk about that third quarter where things didn't go their way. They were outscored 19-9 in that third period, which was really the difference. Fourth quarter, a little bit more solid, but such an uphill battle, and collectively a good effort. It was just really that third period. Coyotes down one after one, 13-12. They let it have 23-21, then outscored in that fourth period. And then they drew close and just could really never get over the hump. Hoffmeyer with 8 points in that fourth period, and that was a deciding factor. Kaylin Horsley really played a strong game. She led the Coyotes with 15 points. I thought Jalen Nacio was phenomenal in this game. She had 8 points and made the best pass of the night.
Yeah.
With that dish inside. I feel like Jalen's game is just like all of a sudden just taking another level. And I'm really happy for her to see her journey just blossom down the stretch. So the Coyotes pick up a hard-fought loss to fall to 6-17, 2-12 in league. Next Wednesday night, they take on Scottsdale on the road. Pima improves to 11-3, 19-5 overall. So now it's the men's. We got Chandler-Gilbert, the men's team, taking on number 2 Pima. Chandler-Gilbert coming off the heartbreaking road loss to Mesa, in which they led by 10 at the half, Matt. And then all of a sudden things went south. And a collective meltdown by the team. And a big loss as Glendale is chasing them for that 2 seed for the postseason. So we're going to take a short timeout from the Coyote Center. The men coming up in about 20 minutes. Keep it locked and loaded right here on the Coyote Sports Network.